Hi, I'm Daddy John. I've been reading Bad News, Good News, a biscuit and gravy story, but in lieu of what's happened in the last 10 days about George Floyd and his death and the, the, the demonstrations and some bad people looting, I want to read a chapter in A Totally Awesome Summer for you. It's in two parts. It's chapter 15, and it's about Daddy John, that's me, talking to Sarah Helena and Owen and trying to teach them about life and how racism destroys your life. So, I hope you enjoy. Thanks. A story on nightly news. Sarah Elena, some things in life are hard to explain. When Mary Lou and I were in elementary school, we were taught not to trust the Chinese or the Russians. We would have air raid drills and need to crawl under our desk in case the Chinese or the Russians exploded atomic bombs here in America. Most Americans we knew talked about hating the Chinese and Russians. The truth was most Chinese and Russians were afraid America would bomb their countries, and because of that, most Chinese and Russians probably hated us. Why did they think we would bomb them, Daddy? Owen asked. Because we dropped atomic bombs on Japan and destroyed the Japanese cities and killed a lot of families, even children, Sarah Helena explained. Did you learn that in school, Sarah Helena? Daddy John asked. I learned that on the History Channel, Daddy John. Well, you're right, Sarah Helena. America did drop 2 atomic bombs on Japan, killing women and children. I think if we would only learn how to talk to each other and get to know the people we think we hate, maybe we could prevent all the suffering and pain hatred causes in this world. Why do people of Arizona hate the Mexicans? Sarah Helena asked. Well, Sarah Helena, they probably don't hate the Mexicans, but they don't want to they want to send them back to Mexico because they're afraid of them. They are afraid they will take American jobs. They are afraid of them because some of the Mexicans are criminals and they kill Americans and sell illegal drugs to Americans. Mainly, I think they could hate them because they don't want to take the time to understand them and know why they come to our country. Why do Mexicans come to our country, Daddy John? Sarah Helena asked. Well, because they want to work and make a better life for their family. Just like the Mexican family who lives next to you in Raleigh, and just like Americans want a better life for their families, Daddy John answered. Why would a Mexican man or woman want to come to America to hurt Americans? It just doesn't make any sense. I think they come to America to do exactly that, make a better life for themselves and their families. Why can't people learn to get along, and why isn't there anybody defending the Mexicans like I did when the bullies got tired of bullying me and started bullying other kids, and I took up for the other kids? Sarah Helena thought it should have been simpler than the TV news story made it sound. Daddy, did you ever take up for somebody? Yes, I did, Owen. Who, Daddy? Are you kids tired of my stories? Oh, no, sir, Owen answered. Go on, Daddy John. Tell us one of your stories, Sarah Helena encouraged him. When Mary Lou and I graduated from the University of Tennessee, we got married and I started graduate school and Mary Lou started teaching. Long about November, there was a job that appeared in the newspaper. General Foods, the Post Division, was looking for sales representatives. I chose to leave graduate school and take their job. That General Foods job was the second decision that brought me to a job at Coca-Cola, which brought Mary Lou and me to New Bern, North Carolina, and the decision to go to New Bern brought me to a decision to go to the Coca-Cola plant in Wilmington. You see, your life will be full of decisions, and each one, like a road, will take you to a new place. That's why making decisions are important and shouldn't be made without a lot of thought. Mary Lou liked the idea of living in Wilmington because we could come down to Little River more often. I liked living in Wilmington, and I liked the Coca-Cola plant, and it was in Wilmington where I made the toughest decision I have ever made in my life. Daddy John, why was that decision so hard? Owen asked. Because it wasn't a popular decision with most of the white employees at the plant. I could have lost my job if I lost employee support. You see, the year before I got to Wilmington, there were black people who objected to the closing of a public school for African American kids. There were hard feelings between the white people and the African American community. It ended in what was called the Wilmington 10 case, where 9 men and 1 woman, civil rights activists, were convicted of arson, conspiracy, and murder and sent to prison. I want to say something because this is a very sad week when 4 police officers killed a man needlessly, egregious act of callous that most people can't understand. Now, I want to explain everything that Daddy John said and described in chapter 15, A Totally Awesome Summer, happened to me. That's right. Those are my own lifetime experiences I write about. When you write your own stories, others can tell what it's like to be you. The questions that Sarah Helena and Owen asked me are the questions all innocent children ask, whether they're white, black, or brown, before some of their parents wring the decency out of them with their own parents' prejudice and traditions handed down for generations by parents, grandparents, teachers, preachers, and peers. I remember attending a retirement party for a Coca-Cola executive. He told how he started working for a Coca-Cola plant, sweeping the floors and emptying the trash. He had to quit school to help support his family. He told the attendees his story. It seems that a supervisor told him, "You are here in the morning waiting for me to unlock the plant, and in the evening I'm waiting for you to come out of the plant so I can lock the door and go home." The executive said his boss said to him, "I'm going to give you the keys to open the plant and lock it up at night." He went on to say the leaders of a company, the bosses, supervisors, managers, all work for their people, their employees, and customers to make work better. The boss, or if you like, the leaders, are servants willing to do what no one else is willing to do for his company and the employees. Your people don't serve you, you serve them. I'm afraid that our political leaders do as my white salesman in Wilmington did. They got angry and wanted to keep people of color in their place, and they let their own racial prejudices and their own need for praise and adulation get in the way, keeping them from treating all men as equals. That is not all I need to say about prejudice, racism, and hatred in my stories, as you will find out as you read my stories about what our children learn from responsible adults. We have to teach our children that harboring and nurturing racial prejudice will only end in tragedy.